name is ZELDEEN Mulleur. I'm the CEO of inSite as well as AgendaWorx. And today I'm going to talk to you about effective corporate governance in a virtual world, digital tools to add to your arsenal.
The COVID pandemic of the past 2 years has changed many facets of our business lives. Boards of retirement funds have not been exempt from the numerous challenges of adjusting to the evolving digital landscape. With the isolation and disconnect that the pandemic has contributed to, how do you interact and govern as a team in a socially distanced world? After the dawn of lockdown, boards had to reinvent the way that their board members interact before, during, and after board meetings. Online conferencing platforms such as Zoom and Microsoft Teams became the platforms of choice to run meetings. Even though these technologies made virtual meetings possible, there remain several challenges relating to the effective corporate governance. PAPIA had serious legislative repercussions determining how funds could handle sensitive information. In addition to this, cybersecurity suddenly became a massive threat in many countries, with South Africa being the 5th most targeted country in the world. In a typical board meeting cycle, to govern effectively, a board must do the following. Receive an agenda pack well in advance. Make notes on the agenda items that they want to discuss or need more clarity on in the upcoming meeting. Meet with other board members. Discuss agenda items during the meeting. Vote on issues during the meeting. Sign documents such as minutes and board resolutions during the meeting. Share documents that might not have been included in the agenda pack amongst board members. Receive and view presentations and handouts of service providers to the fund, and sign board resolutions on a round-robin basis after the meeting. If we look at the meeting cycle mentioned in the previous slides, the following technological solutions might be helpful. You need a virtual agenda pack. The agenda pack must be in a format that is, above all else, secure. It needs to be password protected and ideally encrypted if distributed via email to other board members. The data these packs take up can be quite large in bytes and often too large to email. If the attachments are sent separately and carry sensitive information, they must be password protected. Furthermore, trying to combine the pack with all the attachments can be complicated and difficult. So what are my options? There has been a recent migration of many boards to online agenda pack tools. These platforms provide board members with the functionality to access their agenda packs from any device, any platform, in a securely encrypted environment. Voting on board resolutions. Boards need to be able to vote on agenda items. Products like Zoom and Microsoft Teams allow that, but it is increasingly difficult for secretaries and chairpersons to keep track of all the raised hands whilst the meeting is in progress. They can create polls, but matching those with the agenda items they pertain to subsequent to the meeting can prove difficult. Certain agenda pack tools allow boards to vote at every agenda item and offer full reporting functionality by means of which boards can pull the voting results after the fact and keep those for future reference. It must be possible for an audit on the voting to be done, especially with the increase in death claims caused by the pandemic. Also ensure that a voting poll can be set up in seconds during your meeting should you suddenly need to vote on an issue. Signing board resolutions and documents has become a bit of a nightmare. Boards have taken to emailing board resolutions between board members to sign said documents one by one. Often these documents contain PAPIA-related sensitive information, such as is the case with death claims. Password protecting these documents before signing makes this process even more complicated and time-consuming. The solution? Check if your agenda pack tool has sign-in functionality incorporated into it. This will get rid of all those protected emails between board members and will save on software expenses, as board members won't have to procure an external signing tool. Always prioritize security and ensure that signatures are attributed to a digital user with a date and timestamp. This will ensure that users cannot sign on behalf of other users. Remember, you are not there to see who is signing, so you need the user timestamp to confirm the user for you. Share files amongst board members. Board members who wish to share private files amongst attendees have to resort to emailing these documents, often containing sensitive information which requires password protection. Getting the passwords to each delegate via means other than email, such as WhatsApp, Skype, or MS Teams, can be a challenge. If your email has been compromised without your knowledge, it is vital not to send the password to the same email address as the document. Ideally, it should be sent via different channels. What can you do? Your AgendaPack tool should allow board members to share files quickly and easily with other attendees before and during meetings. They need to be able to control whether other board members are allowed to make changes to these files or not. What about security? POPIA and the increase in cybercrimes oblige boards to be more risk conscious in the way that they handle agenda packs, as well as the sensitive documents contained in those packs. Things you should consider when looking at your agenda pack and meeting security include: are the documents and information contained in your pack encrypted? Are the audio recording files of your meeting encrypted, and who has access to those files? Are important files kept on someone else's computer or in the cloud in a secure environment? Can board members download files? Boards often seek to limit the accessibility of files for board members, essentially blocking them from being able to download certain files. Objectively, there is no way to protect information from board members with malicious intent. They can take a picture on their smartphones of a computer screen easily and quickly. So limiting their access to files that they need to govern effectively might not mitigate your risk as much as hoped. Consider this. Do you run sufficient backups, at least daily, and how long are those backups kept for? Are the backups kept in the same location as the live files? Is your tool hosted on a dual server? If one server falls over in your meeting, will the other be online instantaneously? Are annual penetration tests run against black and white hat hacking? Black hat hacking is where you try to hack a system with no login credentials. White hat hacking is where you get login credentials and then you try to get into pieces of the system where you are not supposed to be. Are monthly vulnerability tests run to mitigate the risk of cybercrime? Is your AgendaPack tool processes, software, hardware, POPIA compliant? And if so, is it hosted internationally and therefore GDPR compliant? In a socially distanced world, even when face-to-face meetings are allowed, digital agenda packs can bring seismic changes in efficiency and audit trails, especially when reporting on governance practices. More than that, they can offer digital transition via a friendly user interface and peace of mind during an unpredictable and ever-changing social and economic period. Thank you for your time and for watching. Please visit our stand should you wish to have a quick chat.